Hello, I'm Siren, and I'm a digital human.
Is this the future? A world where hyper-realistic avatars do everything that humans can. America's tech community seems to think so.
I think that if I could send my avatar off to have fun and party on my behalf, that would be a great thing.
But in the virtual Wild West, could women become nothing more than digital objects?
I am completely comfortable with my avatar performing sex acts that maybe I wouldn't want to perform with my actual body.
Whose beauty standards are designed by men sat behind a screen.
When I created Chudu, I obviously my inspirations were quite unrealistic. You know, it's kind of like supermodels and Barbie dolls.
And who will control our avatars once we've gone?
I just want to do what we started off doing, and as much as that feels right.
To find out, I've made my own avatar and entered the dystopian world occupied by our digital twins.
Ah! What, Casey?
When most of us think of avatars, we imagine a tall blue movie character. But today, they're being used in a very different way. Avatars can be the digital copy of a human, and they're difficult to spot. From Hollywood to the newsroom.
伦敦的媒体及记者朋友，你们好。
Avatars are going mainstream, and our digital doubles could soon be working for us, or maybe even replacing us. I'm in LA, where some of this futuristic technology is being built by women. But with big investment from the gaming, social media and porn industries, is it being built for women? To find out, I'm going to need my own avatar.
Hello. Hi.
This is Luke from DNA Block, an avatar creation startup. They've made digital copies of hundreds of celebrities, and now it's my turn.
How do we do that?
The magic is behind here. So basically, all these cameras, they're going to take a picture of you at exactly the same time, and then we're going to use a process called photogrammetry to reconstruct you. And once we have that, we can do a lot of different things with it. So
this is going to be 360 high definition Amelia.
These cameras are going to capture every angle of my body and face, down to the smallest pore. The photos will then be processed to make an exact replica of me.
So what actually is an avatar?
I think generally it's something that's like interactive, or that's three-dimensional.
So it's kind of like a digital puppet.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of explaining it. So you have a digital puppet of yourself, and we'll be able to do all sorts of things with it. What we're trying to do here is capture your real self.
So this is how I'm going to live in the digital world. This is digital avatar Amelia happening now.
It is, yeah.
Okay, no pressure.
No pressure. Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
This new technology means Amelia 2.0 can be puppeted in real time, across different platforms and by anyone, without my input. While Luke starts building my avatar, I'm going to meet Christine Marzano, the co-founder of DNA Block, to see what I can do with my avatar and if she can earn me any money. Christine is a former model.
So here she comes. I think I've still got it, so I think I can probably win.
She's given up modelling so she can build her tech company, but her avatar, Christine 2.0, is still being hired to work the catwalk, modelling digital clothes for fashion brands.
As you see, Avatar Christine does get it perfect every time, so you probably do want to hire her. But what's interesting about this particular version of her is that it's my body motion capture. So that is my walk, that is my stop, and it is my turnaround. So she really is sort of embodying me on the runway there.
What else can I do with digital Christine?
Well, there's a ton of other uses for avatars that will be, seen now and then way into the future. So you have healthcare, you have chatbots, you have personal companions, personal assistants, virtual influencers, VTubers, anything that you can really think of that a human can do digitally, you can replace with an avatar. She can speak a bunch of languages. She can speak ASL without me ever having to spend a day learning it.
Sign language.
Hey, Christine, I heard you know ASL. Can we see a little bit of the alphabet, please? I like to be nice to my own avatar.
Christine says the biggest growth markets for these hyper-realistic avatars are fashion, advertising and digital assistants. But it's still early days for the technology.
I really think that Gen Z and the younger generations, they're loving it. And they're going to be the ones that decide how it works, what the winners are going to be, and how much of a part of the future it's going to be.
With such seemingly limitless opportunities, it's no surprise that everyone is trying to cash in on this technology, including Bitcoin billionaire Crystal Rose Pierce. I'm meeting her at Rouge Mocap, where we're going to train our avatars to fight so they can be used in the gaming industry.
So this is motion capture. Here we are. We're going to get you guys out here and do what's called a range of motion.
There are 95 cameras around the room, tracking our every move. It only takes 2 minutes to calibrate those motions to our avatars. Back at Crystal's house, we test out our avatar's new moves.
So A is what? Jump.
Low kick, go down, low kick.
This is not looking good for Avatar Amelia. Avatar Crystal is the winner over.
Crystal is so optimistic about the future of avatars that she's about to have an avatar wedding where her guests attend live via virtual reality headsets.
I really just want to explore all of the worlds that are being created. I love the idea of my avatar being able to do fantasy things as well as real world normal things. Being a CEO and a mother and an advisor and an investor, I have a lot of roles, and I think that if I could send my avatar off to have fun and party on my behalf, that would be a great thing.
Even her 6-month-old daughter Aurora has an avatar.
Is she the first ever baby avatar?
I think so. I think she's the first one that's gotten fully scanned. We'll see if she can be a baby influencer. You know, any movie or commercial or film that's using babies or needs a baby for an avatar, having one already created out of a human likeness is a great thing. And she's a perfect canvas. She can be turned into any color hair, any color eyes.
And are you worried that when she grows up, she might not be happy with her image being used in a certain way or being a game character?
We'll hope that she's happy with that. But it's just like any child actor, you know, but at least this is a likeness rather than her actual self.
Crystal is confident that Aurora's avatar is safe from hacking because she holds the key to its data through blockchain technology.
If it were stored on a centralized database somewhere and someone else owned it and we just had the ability to use it, I'd be a little bit more worried about it.
But the use of her daughter's image without her express consent has made me think about who owns the rights to my digital self. And who's regulating what these avatars can get up to online? Many of the industries investing heavily in avatar technology are the ones already known for the commodification of women's bodies. Fashion, gaming, porn. Could turning women into digital objects that can be controlled by anyone and easily edited make that even worse? Kama Sutra is an erotic entertainment company
Lisa. Hi.
run by Lisa Hauk. Their products allow players to have virtual sex with the avatars of real-life porn stars.
It's like a man cave, but a woman cave.
Yeah. So is this some avatar inspiration going on here?
There's a lot of inspiration going on here. Here are a few of our avatars. So Honey Gold is amazing. This is her. We're doing her with the red hair. Casey, Jinx Maze.
Their first game to hit the market is Casey's Condo, and I'm going to give it a try.
Wow. So, how's your headset feel?
Yeah, great.
Good. So I'm going to hand you your handset. We've designed this to be a one-handed experience so that you can have your other hand free to do whatever you want. And It's pretty simple. So what does it say?
Go upstairs and meet Casey by the strip pole.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to the stripper pole mode, which this is great because Kelseyleigh in real life is actually not a dancer. Admittedly, she's like, I have no dance skills, so I love that you made my avatar have stripper moves. You can pick up some of the money next to you there and throw it at her.
I need to do a proper throw.
There we go. You kind of made it rain. It's raining. It's raining. So I don't know if you're hearing any sex sounds.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Well, what's going on down here?
What, Casey?
But
Wow,
I think
hey,
it would
what?
be
So-
interesting if you go a little closer and you see it says teleport into Casey. I think that you should do that.
Teleport into Casey.
Yeah. Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
Whoa.
Now
Oh
look.
my god. That's quite intense.
Anytime we show this to a guy,
Look at it moving.
guys start doing this. They start actually doing this, the movement. now.
What's the bit that people tend to like the most out of this?
They
What's the
love
feedback?
being able to get into the bodies and see the visual of them having sex with a porn star.
The game is still in its infancy, but Lisa plans to add lots of different scenarios from dungeons to group scenes. There'll also be a product aimed specifically at women.
I am not creating anything that has to do with any sort of non-consensual acts.
So there will be limitations built into the tech in terms of what people can do to the avatars and what they can do with the avatars.
We are not creating scenarios that are set up to lend themselves to people saying they're going to act out in violence towards avatars. We're not creating anything having to do with kiddie porn.
It sounds like you've got really clear ideas about how you want the avatars to be used. Are you worried about people or companies that haven't thought about it so much and are looking to exploit this tech, maybe in more negative, dangerous ways?
To be honest, I am so buried in Kama Sutra and what we're doing and developing that I have very little time to kind of worry about what other people in the space are doing. I'm very big into personal responsibility, and you need to be a healthy person to use anything that you're given as a fun tool or a tool to help you in a healthy way.
Do you see avatars as things that have the same rights as people, or who should be able to establish their boundaries too?
Not at this stage. Not at this stage, no, I don't.
Pornography is already accused of giving its users unrealistic ideas about sex. Will an interactive experience where users can do almost anything they want to an avatar make that problem worse? I'm not exactly the target audience, but I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable seeing my avatar in one of Lisa's games. But Casey's condo does feature the avatar of a real-life porn star, Kelseyleigh. She had to undergo hours of motion capture so that her avatar reacts to stimulation just as she would. It even sweats. I give her a call to find out if she's worried about what her avatar's getting up to in the virtual world.
Hello.
Hi, Casey, it's Amelia.
Hi.
I just had a few questions to ask about your avatar. Is there anything you wouldn't be happy with your avatar doing?
I wouldn't be happy with my avatar doing things that are illegal.
Yeah.
But I also understand that an aspect of pornography is that it's fantasy based. And so I am completely comfortable with my avatar performing sex acts that maybe I wouldn't want to perform with my actual body.
When I got my avatar made, I felt kind of protective over it in a weird way. Did you feel like that with yours?
I have long since given up on being protective over my image. I just wanted to be a part of something that might potentially be huge.
Thanks so much, Casey. Really kind of you to chat with us.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Those that aren't so keen on porn or gaming may feel protected from the advancement of avatar technology, but through social media, it's going mainstream. Lil Michaela is an Instagram influencer. She's also an avatar and has 1.6 million followers. With so much marketing potential, Brud, the company that created her, is now worth at least $125 million. Jennifer Powell is a talent agent who's just started to represent avatar influencers. I'm at her office to find out whether these idealized digital models are going to set unrealistic beauty standards for the rest of us.
I don't think I feel comfortable with it being exactly me. I definitely want a better version of me. Is that sort of unhealthy for people?
Well, when you shoot campaigns as a real person, there's retouching and there's editing that happens. So I feel like this is kind of just editing before you're actually putting her out there to work.
Do you feel like there are any ethical concerns around this?
We're moving into the new Wild West. I think that it's going to be up to us, the people that are at the forefront of doing this, to create some standards and hopefully rules and boundaries around it so nobody does get hurt.
Is this the end of jobs for models? I mean, models and influencers are going to be working really differently now that they have an avatar.
Yes, I think that this is going to cut jobs, but also create jobs for models and influencers. The other thing is to keep in mind about avatars is that there is a team of people creating. So it's not just taking away from a person and giving to, a robot of some sort or like an avatar, not a person, but it's actually people that are doing the work. There's creatives behind all of the imagery that you see. So there are actual people behind avatars that are still being employed and being put to work. It's just a different type of person.
But those types of people are invariably men who are defining what these avatars look like. Meet Shudu, tall, dark-skinned, slim, and the first avatar supermodel. She's been hired by Vogue, Cosmo, mobile network provider EE, and the fashion brands Balmain and Ellesse. And this is her creator, Cameron James Wilson.
What is Shudu?
Shudu is like a digital entity of her own. She's a character that I'm kind of developing the visual aspects for. I was really inspired by gaming just before I created Shudu. Black Desert has really, really in-depth character creation, and it inspired me to want to kind of create these kind of really personal, really unique characters. But some of the things that inspire me, often they are too sexualized.
Do you think it's going to be bad for people's body image comparing themselves to these perfect avatars like Shudu?
When I created Shudu, I obviously my inspirations were quite unrealistic. It's kind of like supermodels and Barbie dolls. It's kind of a bit of a dated concept of kind of beauty ideals now, which is why I then went on to create Bren, which is another model which once I'd understood the impact that these models could have, I thought was really important to create. And Bren is a curve model who has stretch marks and has kind of natural imperfections that everyone has and has much more realistic body proportions.
I guess my concern is that having these digital avatars is just going to reinforce these very male-centric standards of beauty.
I think that's a really important point, and I think that's why I really want to encourage women to get involved with this space. At the moment, it is a very kind of male-dominated industry, and I'm very aware of that, even as a guy myself. I walk into a room where we're talking about virtual influencers, and it's 90% guys.
I'm not the only one who shares these concerns about male-centric beauty standards. When Shudu was first created, Cameron received a lot of backlash for defining beauty for black women and cashing in on that image. He's now employed a number of black models, like Misty Bailey, who've become the inspiration for Shudu's walk, style and poses. Amma Badu, a former journalist, is helping to create Shudu's backstory, reclaiming the narrative for black women.
So it started off with sort of publications and magazines coming up and asking to interview Shudu. Being a digital supermodel, she doesn't actually have a voice, so I create that voice. I create her personality and her writing and her words. But actually going forward, we want to develop that even further. So who is Shudu? What's her story? What's her background? How can we make her have a voice and have a story and create it that way?
A lot of black women were upset about the concept of Shudu. How are you trying to change that?
We've spoken extensively about, the issues it has for models in the industry, especially black female models. How do we then create an avatar that can impact this? How do we then create a safe space where we can use a character to have these conversations? How do we then facilitate a larger conversation of making change and seeing diversity and inclusivity in the industry?
I'm coming to the end of my journey into a future reality, where the real Amelia can be relaxing on a beach, while Amelia 2.0 works on TV, never aging, never having a bad day, and never dying. So what happens to my avatar when I'm no longer around?
So I did a series of facial scans, 3D facial scans, that are going to be used to animate my head.
So this is Molly. We scanned her head 105 different times with 105 different expressions. We had the eyes, and we started adding eyebrows, teeth. I know, it's
really creepy.
Really creepy. The process is really creepy.
Molly is the late wife of self-confessed avatar evangelist Alex Henry. As she battled terminal breast cancer earlier this year, she underwent 3D scanning so that her avatar could continue to explore the virtual world after her death.
How is this for you, looking at?
We went through this together. Molly was a part of this process, so we got to laugh about it together. And it's definitely creepy as hell, but there's a compartmentalizing, and I've seen so much of this before, so that it's just, it's a little business as usual. It was, on one hand, it was like a lark. Let's do it, and it'll be fun. And the other hand, there was something sort of unspoken, but like, there's something serious there. This is something that she had to live with, that we both had to live with every single day, is her mortality.
Do you think that stopped you grieving? I don't know, grief is such a difficult and complicated process, but...
Yeah, I think there's parts of this that's helped with the grieving. I don't think it's stopping the grieving process. I think that's going to happen no matter what. I'm not trying to be a Black Mirror episode. Do I see myself, hanging out with virtual Molly? And no, I don't need an avatar to do that.
As an avatar developer, Alex is using digital Molly to showcase the potential of the technology. He says she won't be available to his clients, but he will continue to develop her character and may even incorporate artificial intelligence.
I felt weirdly defensive of my avatar when I made it. I sort of thought, okay, this is really fun, I want to change this. But then the thought of someone else changing it or using it in a way that I wasn't in control of felt quite, not violating, but it felt weird.
Yeah, there's a deep trust that Molly and I had.
Did she leave kind of an avatar will in a way?
No, she didn't need to. There was a trust. We talked about it. I don't want to control Molly in her afterlife. I just want to do what we started off doing, and as much as that feels right. I know Molly would be thrilled if her avatar became a pop star.
Yeah.
Thrilled.
It seems to me that many of the pioneers in avatar technology are relying on their instincts because the legal guidelines are still being established. As different industries seek to capitalize on this technology, protecting our image will become increasingly important, especially if you're female. It's all made me feel a bit more nervous about the creation of my own avatar. I feel like I've just put my fingerprints on the internet and now anyone can access them. I'm going back to DNA Block to see what Christine's going to do with the avatar she's created for me.
We think you should own it. It looks like you, it acts like you, it talks like you, it will be a digital representation of you. And that we are just there to license it out to anybody who wishes to use it or who you approve to use it.
It seems like my avatar is safe for now, But how the future plays out still rests in human hands.